know. It's like we're like right there in the room with them. You can like almost hear their minds working. I love it.
And they're onto something big, too. Something they call the boardroom.
Yeah, the boardroom.
So,
Totally.
so what gets this whole thing rolling? Like, what sparks this brainstorming session?
So it starts with Mark. And Mark is like super passionate about like preserving knowledge, the wisdom of like influential thinkers. He talks a lot about his mentor, Dr. Bales. He was like this expert in group dynamics. And Mark feels like, Dr. Bales' work and the work of like other really smart people is being kind of forgotten.
Okay, yeah, I can see that happening. So many great ideas get like lost over time.
Right, exactly. And he even uses the term dead poets to describe them, like they're gone, but their ideas should still be alive.
Dead poets. Okay, I got to know more. Like, where does he go with this?
So get this. His idea is to use AI and VR to basically like bring these dead poets back. Like you could have a virtual meeting and there's Sun Tzu giving you strategic advice, or you could like get feedback on your team dynamics from like Ned Herman,
Wait, hold on. You're saying they want to make like AI versions of historical figures to talk to, like for real?
That's the idea.
Whoa. That is like next level.
It is. I mean, that's why this conversation is so cool. They're not just thinking like small, they're going big. Like, how can we change the way we learn from the past? How can we use it to solve problems today?
I'm loving this already. Okay, so they've got this big idea. It's called the boardroom.
Yeah.
What are some of like the key details they talk about? Like, how would it actually work?
Yeah. So Mark actually gets pretty into the weeds on this. He describes like a scenario, right? An executive team, they're trying to make like a tough strategic decision.
And then, like, boom, Sun Tzu pops up in a giant screen.
Right. Pretty much. And he like lays down some serious art of war wisdom on them. He like uses his knowledge of ancient warfare to make analogies to modern day business,
So it's like they're not like just bringing these dead poets back. They're making them like actually useful.
Totally.
What other examples do they have? Like, who else shows up in the boardroom?
Oh, they talk about Clayton Christensen a lot,
Yeah.
the guy who like wrote the book on disruptive innovation. Can you imagine? Like getting advice on that, like straight from the source.
That's wild. Okay, I'm like totally on board with this. But I got to ask, like, what about the challenges? There's got to be some, right? This seems like really ambitious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They definitely don't shy away from that. Like one of the big things they talk about is the tech, like actually creating these AI personas that are like believable. Michael, he's like the AI guy. He talks a lot about this. Like you need really good natural language processing and you got to like capture the personality, the thinking style of each person,
Yeah. It can't just be like some random facts and quotes, right? It has to feel like you're actually talking to Sun Tzu or whoever.
Exactly. It's got to be authentic. And then there's the scope,
Yeah.
like they're talking about all these different fields, strategy, innovation, like organizational stuff. It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And like, how do they even choose who to include?
Right.
I mean, the possibilities are like endless.
That's where like focus comes in. They talk a lot about that, like having a target audience, a specific set of problems they're trying to solve, Otherwise it just becomes this like giant mess.
Right. Got to keep it practical, make sure it's useful.
Yeah.
So what about like the business side of this? How do they plan to actually, make money from the boardroom?
Yeah, well, Steve, he's like definitely more the business guy, He talks about starting small, testing things out, and making sure there's actually a market for this. He doesn't want it to be like another, flash in the pan, one of those things that everyone's excited about for like 5 minutes and then forgets.
Makes sense.
Totally. And you can tell how excited they are. Like Mark even talks about how the boardroom could change, like executive coaching, like totally revolutionize it.
Wow, that's big. Imagine like instead of hiring a coach, you just like fire up the boardroom and talk to like the greatest minds in history.
Right. Like a dream team of mentors available 24/7. And it's not just business, They see potential in education, in healthcare, like even personal development. Like the possibilities are like crazy.
So they've got this huge vision, they know the challenges, and they've got some ideas on how to move forward.
They really believe in this. Like they really think this can make a difference. They see it as a way to like preserve wisdom, connect the past with the present and like help people make better decisions.
Yeah, that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, right?
Yeah.
This isn't just about some cool new tech. This is about like changing the way we think, the way we learn, the way we lead.
Totally.
Romance, love. These are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, oh me, O life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, O me, O life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?